Brought to you by River State Government, the treasure base of the nation.
River State is one of the greatest oil-producing states in the world. It accounts for 10% of Nigeria's GDP and 40% of the nation's crude oil. It is also 100% responsible for the export of Nigeria's liquefied natural gas. Despite its obvious potential, River State has faced its share of challenges, which ultimately have had to be met so as to renew investor confidence.
In spite of the many investment opportunities in our state and its great potential, there still remain several constraints which were of concern to potential investors. Our task as government, therefore, was to ensure a stable development of the state's economy by putting in place policies and structures which will in turn translate to improvements in the quality of life of our people. The River State government is doing its part to provide training and credit for small and medium enterprise and micro businesses as a means of addressing poverty. In addition, the River State government is committed to ensuring prudence in the management of its fiscal regime. We are aware of the negative impact that fiscal management could have on the overall macroeconomic conditions for our country. We have therefore embarked on far-reaching reforms to improve our public financial management systems. We have passed the Fiscal Responsibility Law as well as the Public Procurement Law, and we are now implementing the elements of these laws. Our legal and regulatory framework is geared towards making the environment more investor-friendly. Our tax harmonization policy, as well as the River State Land Use Prohibition of Extortion Law 2010, is evidence of our proactive action to safeguard our investors. Our PPP law provides for viability funding gap where necessary, showing our determination to lean heavily in favor of the investor. Please take advantage of this law and invest in such areas as the Greater Port Harcourt City, water, agriculture, transportation, and power, among several others.
This is one government that I've seen that is actually willing to push through the policies that they put in place. You have a governor that is forceful. And so once he has put through a policy that says, I want to develop jobs, then he pushes it hard. And from an investor perspective, that's good because time is short, especially in the circle that we operate within governments. You want to make sure that you have as much as you can do within the circle of a government that can push forward so that you have built the foundation that you need to step into the next government. And that's very important because time can very easily lapse and you don't want that from an investment perspective.
Having dealt with several of the issues that were of great concern to potential investors and a hindrance to the state's economic development, River State has gone on to analyze its economy and highlight those sectors that are ripe for investment. One such area is agriculture. The sector is bursting with possibilities, but that potential needs to be turned into wealth.
Let's think about it this way. We produce oil, but nobody eats oil. You can choose not to ride a car, but you can't do without eating food. And so that's why the rich nations of the world are rich, because they're sending us food. We have a population of 167 million people, and what they eat morning, afternoon, and evening is food. But the question is they are eating other people's food and not eating food produced in Nigeria. And that's what we are changing. We are modernizing agriculture. We are improving the business environment, and we want it to be a profitable, viable business that will create jobs. In our agricultural transformation strategy for the country, our goal is to produce an additional 20 million metric tons of food, but also to be able to create 3.5 million jobs. For the case of agriculture, River State is very important, especially first in terms of fisheries. We've got a lot of water in the state, and they produce a lot of fish. I think investing in a fish terminal will be very, very important here for expanding the market for fish in terms of fish, capture, but also processing and marketing, very, very crucial for that. Second is oil palm plantations. They have a lot of oil palm in the state, and palm oil production is very important. So I think attracting investors into that particular area to revitalize the old plantations, replant them with new seedlings, having the processing part that you can generate a lot of things from margarine to soap, to pharmaceutical products and so on, and even biodiesel out of palm oil production is very, very important.
Nigeria is definitely going to be the powerhouse of West Africa in the future to come. A lot of resources, hardworking people, fairly good fiscal arrangements, I've been here for many, many years, and that's also why I say it's also a little bit emotional. But we believe that Nigeria is a good place to make money. The number one challenge is the bureaucracy. That's all. To say the truth, the African agriculture, without harmonization of duties in the region, has no future. Has no future. We will be overwhelmed by Asia.